Hello! So today I wanted to try to do my first art cards. So people actually swap art cards online and stuff, which I've always thought was a really cool idea. I've just never tried it before. So today I'm going to try to make some. Before we begin though, I wanted to show you a couple of things that I've been working on. One of my favorites I've been working on is actually this one right here. Here, I'll tilt it a bit. This is my boozy biatches. They're just bougie, like really pretty pearlescent girls. I actually ended up hanging this in my office because I liked it so much. It was funny, I took little scraps of paper and they looked like little paintings, so I put it in their room and stuff. So that is my bougie biatches. And then I also recently made this one. I made this one yesterday. This one is kind of like she's like a little cowgirl lady. And so this is on a stretched canvas, and actually has a lot of pieces to that 100-year-old art journal that I had deconstructed. So this kind of leathery stuff is actually part of the cover of that. And then this Victory is from that, and the woman herself is from that as well. And then the rest of this was really cool. I just did like a bunch of stencils, and these two are actually from a scraps pack that I bought to kind of study some other artists' things, but these were some scraps of paper that were in there that I thought actually went really well with it, so I decided to reuse it. But yeah, and then I really like doilies. I like the texture. In my texture box, as I call it, I have a bunch of those. So those were some things I made. I even have some homemade word Betty I put in there. It said she waited for the day she was strong, so I really like that. Anyway, those are some of the things that I have been working on lately. And then I do already have these pre-cut, and I have the rules on the paper here. So in this group, and it's on Facebook, it's just the ATC swap main group. So in this particular one, this is for May of 2025, and the rules were to make 4 to 7 cards. They must have 5 elements in them, so it has to have paper types, images, stickers, maybe something drawn, fabric, embellishment, stamps, glitter, etc. So different things, up to 5 different things on them. And I have to make sure that I include a self-addressed envelope with a stamp. Cards do not need to be identical, and for this group, they are specific about their measurements for art cards, so they have to be 2.5 by 3.5 inches. So like a standard trading card size. So I did go ahead and cut out 7 of them because you get 6 back. The 7th one that you make actually goes to the person hosting. So I went ahead and cut out these cards. So I've got all 7 here. And then I figured I have a whole bunch of stuff and I can kind of decide. Now there's one piece of paper that I thought was gonna look really cool with this. And I was thinking, I made a whole bunch of these. I made those just with like playing around with some, you know, regular paper and acrylic paint and stencils and stuff, but I really like the coloring of those, and I thought maybe, even though they don't have to all be the same, that I could use some of the colors that I took from that, because I feel like those colors would go really well, because it's supposed to be succulents or cacti in this one. So I think, let me see, are those my only ones that I've got, because I can cut them down if so. Let me see what other green pieces I have in my scraps bag here. So these have kind of green in them too. These are some other ones that I've made. So I will take some of these ones that have that repeated green motif in them. That way we've got some paper to play with here. And let's see if there's any more that kind of go with this theme. That looks like those are the main ones that I have. So I just liked these because they've got greens on them really. So what I thought we could do is, I want to stamp a little bit, like I have this nice cute cactus stamp. I thought maybe we could stamp the corner of each one of them and just kind of play around the cactus and maybe color the cactus in or paint it, you know, do something fun with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to actually probably, maybe what I could do is I can kind of watercolor each of these cards first and then fully dry them and then stamp. Maybe that would work. So let me get my watercolor pencil out. So this is my watercolor guy here, and then we can do some regular greens and then maybe put some of the glitter green on top of it. But we can use my Paul Rubens and just take turns going through here and putting some maybe blues and greens in. And I think blues and greens are gonna look really pretty. So one at a time I'm gonna do that, and then we'll just dry them with my heat gun and kind of see how that goes. So let's see here. I'm just gonna be real random about it. Like, I don't want it to really have a rhyme or a reason. So we can put some yellowy green in there. Uh-oh, got some dirt in there. We don't want dirt on our art cards. And then maybe this color is really pretty. Let's see what that does. Maybe we can pepper in some green in there. And give us a little bit of here. I'm just going to use it to color in the whole card, and then like I said, I will just gun it down. Like that. And these are made of just like cardstock, so I will probably have to be careful with the amount of water I'm using on it. And then I'm just gonna get this one really gooey and wet and just kind of splatter like that, because I think that looks cool. Okay, and I'm gonna set that there. And then I'll go ahead and get my next one here. Do something kind of similar. Just want like a lot of color to it. And if it's a little bit different, that's totally fine with me. So we don't want them to be quite the same, but I would like to at least be able to tell that they go into a set. So I think that's kind of cool when you can tell. And then maybe with this one we'll splatter this color on it. Get it real peppery. Okay. Set that there next to this other one. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay, and then here's what I'll do. I'll move this over a little bit because you already have seen what colors I'm using, and then we'll put these up here because I'm getting my art desk all messy again. Not that it's not used to the mess, but you know. Really rather my desk not be changing colors every 2 seconds. some of that white. Go, I think I need a paper towel because I'm starting to get my greens mixing. Don't want that. There we go. And then I do want to splatter some because I think that splatter looks really cool. Give it some texture. Ooh, I just splattered some on my face on accident. That was interesting. All right, so we've got that. Here's another one. Some of those bright highlights in there. And then we've got 3 more to go. Maybe on this one I'll put this stripe down the middle instead of how it was on the other ones. I like that, yeah. Okay, I've got 2 more to go, and then we can start drying these bad boys. And then start stamping. So those are pretty greened out, I think. They look pretty good, and we've got some different varieties of them. Like, I feel like they look just similar enough to tell that they are together, but they're not like exactly the same, which is nice. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and put my paint away, and I'm going to dry those real quick. Because I want to make sure that they're pretty dry before I do anything else to them. Alexa, turn off alarm. Goodness. Cards floating away. Waddle, waddle. Three more to go. What I might do is after I'm totally done, I might like put something, maybe I'll cut down some more cardstock to go under them or something, just to make them a little bit thicker, but I don't know. I don't know that you really need to do those. Like I said, I've never done art cards before, so we'll see. So I think that's pretty dry, or at least dry enough. So let's take a look and see what these look like now that they're dry. So we've got this one, that one, that one. We can always also, after I'm done recording, I can try to smash them under a book or something just to flatten them out. I don't think it's that big of a deal though. All right, so we've got all 7 here. They look pretty good. I like them anyway. So the next thing that I think we should do is put in the cactus, because that's the whole point of this, is to have a cactus in here. So let's go ahead and get out some black ink here. Let's see. Here's some. I have a big old ink pad. And then we'll just stamp them, and I'm probably going to stamp them all in a corner. Like, I don't know if it'll all be the same corner, but a corner. I won't be able to fit the whole cactus on here, of course, so we'll just have to kind of go for it. I'm gonna do right here. Yeah, like that. I think that'll be good. So if I do it in the corners, it looks like that's gonna turn out fine. So maybe I will make these kind of similar. I wasn't sure at first, but I think maybe that's gonna be okay. Got that. Let's just go ahead and put them on top of each other, and I'll just plop them out as we go, and we'll see what happens. So got that. Got that one. will just be the cactus corner. That one's kind of lighter than the other ones. Huh. It's kind of the interesting thing about these is you just don't know what's going to happen. I kind of like that side. So now we've got a bunch of cactuses, and then what I'm going to do with that is I had a piece of paper over here. Where did I put it? So I've got kind of a paper that I've just been putting stuff on. You know what I mean? Like, let's see. Oh, here it is. This paper. I've been just randomly, this was a Brayer off paper that I was using when I was jelly plating. So I'm just gonna give us some cactuses. There we go. And I'll just keep messing with this until it's something that I want to use. All right. So anyway, back to our cards here. We've got those there, and I'm just gonna toss my stamp into my stamp collection. All right. So now I really want to use some of these because I think these papers are amazing. And I don't know if I want to do them like maybe in the top corner or something so it's less distracting because I don't want to cover up the cactus really. But I do definitely want some of this green in here because this green is great. Ooh, and some of these are already kind of down to the size. But they just have that nice planty feel to it. So, ooh, like this is cool. We just got to figure out how to make it look good. Now this one, it looks like it's almost already angled right. We just need to cut it a little bit. Maybe if we cut it like this, this could be a corner. So what we could do is use them as like a corner. See, like that. Something like that. So let's go ahead and do some corners for these then. Let's see here. Or even if they're just on top a little bit. Like that one's kind of fun the way it is. I'm just gonna angle it some more. Just like maybe now it's like this instead. Or it could even be like that, yeah. So there's a triangle there. Maybe this one. This one, since it's so light, I'd like to get some purple in there. So maybe this one. We could do up here. Yeah, let's get some of that purple. Because since it's so light, I just want to give it a little something, something. Yeah, something like that. And then triangle for you. Ooh, or maybe even this piece, because that piece is a little bit darker. That could be cool. That piece there. once I get them all cut out, we can even like look at it and see who needs what. There's a triangle there for that one. Okay, so now we've all got triangles, which is cool. And I took these just because they have some green in them. I don't know if I'll use them or not. But let's take a look here and just see what that might look like with just a little bit of extra color. But maybe we should glue these down first and then go for that and see what happens. Okay. So for you, want to do you like that, maybe? Yeah. Something like that. It just has that kind of like planty vibe to it. All right, so let me make sure that I'm in frame here, and let's close our stamp thing so it doesn't dry out. All right, so we're back in frame here, and then let's get some glue on this. And so far, if you're counting, this is 3 of 5 because we've got watercolor, we've got a stamp, and now we've got a different textured paper because we've got to get up to 5 things on each of these cards. And since they're kind of small, that could be kind of interesting because, like I said, I've never done something this small before. So this will be different for me. Okay, so we've got that in there, and then I was thinking maybe we could add a second piece. Let's see here. So I've got these. Maybe something in the corner. Maybe this corner. I don't know. Ooh, I know what I could do. I could use a, maybe it can be a heart. I've got some like little stamper things that do that. Let me see if I can find it. There they are. I've got these. I wonder if I can make 7 hearts with those, because if so, that'd be great. I don't know that these are big enough though. Yeah. Maybe I can draw a heart. Let's try that, and I'll just draw a small heart and then try to cut it out. It's gonna have to be small. Do a couple of hearts. Looks like I can fit up to 3 of them on here. Like that. Small, but it's cute. Let's see. Maybe we can do a little heart in the corner, or up here maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I like it or not. We'll think about it. We'll think about it. I'll go ahead and cut out 7 hearts just in case we decide to put them somewhere, but that might be something more for like a top layer, because they're so darn small. So like I said, gotta fit it on a little tiny guy. Okay, so there's one right there. I will say at least my heart making skills are decent today. Some days I go to cut hearts and I don't know what's up with it, but it's like, nope, this is not looking like a heart. So at least these are looking like hearts today. Okay, so there's those. I'll cut all that. Throw that away. And then let's do some hearts with this one. So we need 4 more. One. 2. 3. 4. So I'll go ahead and cut out 4 more hearts. That way we may not be using it right this second, but then I'll have them and they'll already be ready. So let's separate them to make them a little bit easier to cut out here. See what happens? I get on a little kick and then I gotta do it. All right, let's see. So I'm just gonna, uh-oh. This is one of those ones I was talking about where it might not want to do it. Or it just might be a very, very small heart. My goodness, that cut small. Okay. Well, that's a very tiny heart. I might redo that one because holy cow. Here's one. Get that piece of paper back out because I just don't think that's big enough. Just threw it in here, didn't I? Of course, now I don't see that little piece of paper anywhere. Okay, I've got more paper here. So if I need to, I can just use one of those. Okay. So I want it to at least be recognized as a heart. I don't want it to be so small. They're like, what is that thing? Here's a heart. Oops. And there's art. Okay, so we've got hearts now. And maybe because one of the things I really want to do is I also want to add flowers to these hearts. I mean flowers to the hearts. I want to add flowers to here, to these, and I've got little tiny flowers that I thought maybe I could use. So that'll be one of the things that I do for sure, and that'll be cute. So I'm just gonna put these little guys up here so I don't forget about them. And they can chill up there for a minute. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish gluing these guys. I've got that one. With this one, let's see here. I think like that corner there, so cut it down a little bit more and do something like that. So some of these are just gonna be a little bit smaller, and that's totally fine, I think. Not terribly worried about it. As long as the overall card looks nice, they're not gonna know. Only the host will, and she gets to pick the one that she wants, so. Okay, got that one on now. So we'll go with this one. This one's not quite a triangle, is it? Let's do maybe. Something like that. This kind of reminds me of, so I like having pen pals. I actually have a pen pal, her name's Ocean, and I've been pen paling with her, gosh, since before Ronan was born, so it's been over 5 years definitely. And yeah, I like writing to her a couple of times a year. So these trading cards kind of remind me of that process, which is really cool. I like that one because it's so dark here that light really brings it out. And we've got this one. So that looks pretty good. Then we've got this one. Like that, and then we've got this one here. This one I think is just going to be a slight bit different, maybe. Because I like this triangle and I don't want to cut it down. So maybe we can do it like that. Give it a little bit of flair. There we go. Like that. Okay. So that looks pretty good. And then I've got like a bunch of different flowers I was seeing that. I think these are going to be too fat. So I don't think that's going to work. But these might look good. So I've got these, and then I've got like these might look cute in the top corner. And then I've got these little tiny ones, which maybe we can use to decorate our actual ones. And then I also have these, but I don't know, because that's too many flowers. So I think maybe these two will be fine. Okay. So let's do these big ones first, and we'll pop them in the corners. Let's see, and there's 12 of them, so that'll be fine for 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And maybe something like that to kind of make it pop a bit. That'd be fun. So let's do that. We're just gonna pop them all in the corners. Dress up our corner really nice. I'm gonna put a lot of glue on this just because sometimes these like little flowers don't want to do what they're told. So I'm gonna do that so that it stays really well. Something like that. That's cute. Okay. What I was kind of thinking about doing is, because I want to sell some of my art, because like the dream is to like have, you know, be an artist at some point where people actually want my art. And I think it'd be cool to make little thank you art trading cards. I think that would be fun. So eventually on, you know, one of these videos, maybe we can do that. Because I'd like to do that. I think that would be really fun. And we'll do this. A lot of these flowers I actually got at Joann's, because, you know, Joann's is going out of business. Right now they've got up to 60% off. But I really like these little paper flowers that they had. If they were more affordable to buy them all, I would just go in and get them all. Because I really, really enjoy paper flowers. As I have what's called my texture box, which I kind of like in my mind affectionately think of the Barney bag where you just didn't know it was in it. So I have like this box of like textured items, and I, you know, like to pull things out of it because I don't know that I like everything being so flat. Like sometimes I just want a little bit of extra to it. So my texture box is where I usually keep these kind of things. Just because it's a little fun, you know? Okay, there we go. And then we've got 2 more to get here. These cards are already starting to re-flatten out again, which is good. So as I'm pushing them, I'm trying to push them down straight. And then when I'm all done, I'll put my information on the back. There we go. All right. Just like that. Now, before I do anything else to those, what I'd like to do is maybe put a sticker of some sort on them, like maybe like a plant sticker of some sort. So let me see what I've got. Stickers. I've got quite a few different types of stickers. Flowers that we can use, because I'd like maybe just a little something to like break that up a bit. Plus we're supposed to be putting 5 elements on here, and right now we've got 1, because we got the watercolor, 2 the stamps, 3 this flower, 4. Our 5th element could be a sticker maybe, but I don't want to make it too much because I want to also put little flowers. You know, if I did the little flowers on there, I think that would bump us up to the 5 we need. And then I can put those little hearts on there and that'll just be like an extra touch. So let's do that. Because I don't want to overdo it on my first art cards. I'd like to get them just right. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? In my head I hear, know what I mean, Vern, from Dee Dee. So let me go ahead, because I really like these. And what I'd like to do is get it, you know, there's 4 little flowers on each of these, and I don't know how many of these little small parts are, but it'd be really cool if where these little tiny flowers are, if we could get tiny flowers on them. So let's open this and we'll see if we can divide it. See how many we can divide here. So I'm just gonna pour them out in the corner here. And we're just gonna see, because it looks like there's 4 flowers on each one of these. So I wanna try and see if we can get 4 of them. 1 light blue on each one. Just because I think that would be a really fun touch to put where the flowers are on the stamp. That way we're not relying too heavily on just the stamp. Just want to have some fun with it. Okay, so we've got one of those. We can do this black one. Maybe down here, so it's less of a focal point. So we can give each of them one of those blackish looking ones. You know, originally I did not plan for these to match. That's really funny. I just kind of went with it because I liked what I was doing. Okay, so then we've got kind of this darker blue here. Looks like that. So maybe we can do the darker blue here. So this one's kind of a gray blue. What we can do on that corner. Okay, and then I think we have enough to do the lighter blue again. So what if instead of that black one being there, what if we bump him up and then put another light blue towards the bottom, like that? So we'll bump him up on all of them. That way we can break up that blue a bit. Something like that. Yeah. All right, we do have enough to do this. Perfect. Okay. So that's what I'll do there. So let me go ahead and put those back in here because we still got plenty. Perfect. I literally just got these like 2 nights ago, so I'm glad I already found a purpose for them. Okay. So let's do that. And we're just gonna kind of rotate as we go here. Like that. Okay. So I'm gonna set these over here like this. I can tell what pattern I'm going with. And then we'll go ahead and glue. And I'll start with this guy here. Hopefully these stay together in the mail. Like I said, I've never done this before, so I'm very excited about it. I hope that they last. So it'd be really sad if the person was like, hey, I got your package, but they fell apart. I'd be like, oh my God, no. Never doing art cards again, you know what I mean? So that'd be horrible. But no, I'd like to do something like this. I feel like it's a challenge because, you know, a lot of my stuff that I'm doing with this is stuff that I'm doing for the first time. So it's like on a journey of being not great at stuff to like learning, you know. I want to do new things and try new things and be excited to do those new things. Oh, this is going to be really cute. There we go. Ooh, and what we could do is we could put the hearts on the cactus. Like maybe it's the cactus's heart. Would be cool. We could find some word fetty maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But let's give it a heart. Little cactus heart. Can't really see it very well, so what I might do is take a Posca and draw around it so that you can see this cactus has a heart. Like that. I think that looks good. So kind of show you a little bit up close. Cactus heart. Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, so let's do this one next. I believe that this one I'm doing only had like 12 people of 30 that have signed up so far. So if you're interested, like I said, it's just on the ATC trading art group in Facebook. It's like the main one. And I scrolled down a bit and there's somebody who's hosting one for May. If you think about it, whenever I go to post the video, I'll try to find the link to the post and I'll try to put it in there. If I can't find it, just let me know. I've saved the post, so I can always just like send it in an individual comment too. But they were looking for 30 people and they didn't really care where they were from or anything. So, and it's not as specific, like some of the ones I saw had rules where you had to send like, kind of like, I don't know if any of you played Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh when you were younger, but you know how they had those books with the sleeves? And some of them you actually have to send sleeves like that to protect the cards, which is a cool idea. I completely get that. But it's kind of hard sometimes. So, you know, I picked one that I thought would be a really easy first one to do. Put my heart on here. Because I didn't want to scare myself out of doing it. If it was going to have too much like going on with it, like I want to get used to the process first. Okay, and then I can take this, and this will be cool because it'll be like it's part of the stamp even though it's not. Boy, that black is dry. There we go. one thing I'm trying to get better at, is staying in frame. I was noticing in some of my videos that I ain't so good at that. So, trying. Okay. It was crazy. So I used to draw all the time whenever I was younger. Like, it was very rare to see me not with a sketch pad. Like, I'd take them to school. I would take them everywhere. My life revolved around drawing, really. And especially, like, if I was having an emotional time, like, like, whether I was just, like, really upset or sad about something, like, I would whack out some really cool, like, some really cool drawings. And then I went through a time where it was kind of like a depression, I would say. Where just for like about 10 years I didn't want to draw anything. Like, every once in a while I'd find something. Like, I went through like a Gorillaz phase where I really liked the band Gorillaz, and I would draw some of their stuff, like some fan arts. But for the most part, like, I didn't really want to draw. So, like, I have ADHD, and sometimes with ADHD you hyper focus on stuff, and right now I'm extremely hyper focused on art. So what a hyper focus is it's like you can't focus on anything else. It's very odd. But like, for example, I'll be doing something completely different. Like, let's say I'm at work and what I'll want to be doing is art. So I'll just be thinking about what I'm doing at art. And then you have to like redirect your focus and stuff. So I've been leaning into the hyper focus, like when I'm off duty, I would say. But it's really hard when you're on duty because you just can't stop thinking about it. And that can be a bad thing if you let it rule you, but I'm not going to let it be a bad thing because I'm just very excited that I'm suddenly wanting to do art again. So, like I keep telling myself, a hyper-focus doesn't have to be a bad thing as long as you're doing the other things you're supposed to be doing. Which is the struggle, right? But I am very much enjoying myself at the moment. Here we go. So that looks really nice. These are gonna be really good though, I think. I hope somebody will enjoy them anyway. I would say that's the other thing I have a problem with. I would say confidence is a big one. Because like in the moment when I'm doing something, I'll get really excited about it and then I'll start second guessing myself. And I used to be the kind of person that if I would screw up on something, I would throw it away. Like, I just would not let myself have happy accidents, as Bob Ross calls them. And that's something where I want to improve myself, and I don't want to be like that anymore. I just want to go with it. So even if something is not perfect, what I've been trying to do is figure out how to rework it to help it. And if it's something that's completely gone awry, you know, there's still got to be at least parts of it that are usable. So I've been trying to build my self-confidence as an artist that way. Do you guys maybe have any issues with that sometimes? Are you a second guesser or an overthinker like I am? It's a hard time when that happens. I still think maybe we need some Wordfetti in there or something, because we've got a couple of blank spaces in here. And even though I've met my 5 elements, I'm just, well, second guessing. Not to sound silly or anything, but I don't know. We'll see. I've got some homemade Wordfetti that I made. I like, my husband's bad about making way too much coffee in the morning. So I soaked some paper in coffee and wrote in the nicest cursive I could, which my cursive is not great, y'all. Like, I was towards the end of where they were about to get rid of cursive in school, so they didn't really care how our handwriting looked, and we were more in a computer age. But I tried my best, kind of thing. So maybe we can find some Fetty from that, like some short Fetties. Or if not, I've got other Fetties that we can use too. Like, I've got those Tim Holtz ones, which I really like to use as well. Those are the ones that encouraged me to make my own Vettys. So we could probably do something like that. So I love me some Vetty. I just like how poetic it is, because sometimes you just gotta, it's not something that you would ever think to write sometimes, but you gotta figure out how to make it work. And I like that. There's something very fun about that. There we go. I think also that I'm gonna only be able to put out about 2 videos a week, just because I do one video on the weekend and then I try to smush one in there sometime during the week that I can record. It's hard. I've got an almost 5-year-old, so usually I'm doing stuff with him. Right now he's with his daddy. Right now they're going shopping. But you know, I don't have as much time as I'd like to devote on videos. I'm not gonna have a certain day or anything like that I'm putting stuff out. I'm just gonna do what I can, and I'm just gonna try to put out at least 2 videos a week. Sometimes I might have more, sometimes I might have less. It just kind of depends on how that week's going, you know. I can only do what I can do. Oops, we'll use you because you stuck to my finger, so you're ready. Oh, that's that small heart. Okay. Here we go. Put that little heart in the middle. This one will just outline around it like that. There we go. Looks pretty good. Got 2 more to get the flowers on, then we can decide on if we want word Vettys or not. But I think these are looking pretty good. I'm pretty proud so far. Pretty happy. Simple and clean. Oh, did I get this one? I didn't put a flower on it, or a heart on it. Oops, my bad. Let's put this heart on here real quick. 'Cause it needs a heart. This plant needs our love. Need to fill up the glue bottle again. Getting a little empty. There we go. There we go. That looks better now. Got ourselves a heart. Okay. I was wondering why I had so many hearts over there. I was like, missed one. Curious to see what other people make that are cactus and succulent like. I love cactuses and succulents. I am a terrible plant mom. I'll be the first one to come out there and say if plants come to me, they're coming to die. But I do like cactuses and succulents. They tend to survive a little bit longer with me at least. But I am just really bad. Sometimes I overwater stuff, sometimes I underwater stuff. I keep practicing, but it seems to be in vain. And I always feel a little bad about it afterwards, you know. I love plants, but sometimes plastic plants are the right plants to go with. But shh, we won't tell anybody, right? I think after I do this. Today I'm probably gonna work on some laundry. It is a Sunday here right now when I'm recording this. Try to get ready for the week. There we go, we need our heart now. Use our Posca here. It's pretty good. This card's a little bent, but that's okay. It's a bendy friend. It's always so funny. Whenever I watch other artists online, they always keep their hands so clean. And like sometimes I try to rub them off with baby wipes, but I just feel like I'm permanently in a state of mess. Oh well, at least I'm having fun. Not to say that they aren't or anything, but I just think that that's funny. I am incapable of doing art without creating a huge mess. Hence why my work area always looks the way it does. Maybe we could just write with the Posca's really nice May of 2025. That could be nice. And then that way they know the, you know, when the art cards were supposed to be for. Maybe I can write it just in cursive. Be nice. And then just sign them, and I think that would be very good. Heart on our Posca. If we can get our Posca to cooperate with us today. Might need to get some more of them soon. It's okay, that one's kind of an artsy heart. But look, it's not even, there we go. Now it's kind of doing it. See? All right, so what I might do is go back through here and do May. $2025. And then add that. Like, I think that would look pretty good. Just a little May of 2025 on there. I don't think that looks too bad or anything, or hokey or anything like that. So So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write May of 2025 on them and then just initial them and be done. May 2025. Go. Kind of see it better on that one because it's the lighter one. And from what I understand, on the backs of them, you're supposed to just write your information so that they know who the card was made by. Like a title. Maybe like the title, I'm just gonna put May Cacti Succulent. You know, I'm just gonna name it after what it's supposed to be. And then you're supposed to put your artist name on there, and yeah. And when I get mine back, I'll definitely show them so that you can see what other people made. And there we go. I believe that is all of our art cards. How do you think I did? Let me know. And thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey of doing my first art cards. Hope you guys have a good day. Bye.